hope you know about GitHub code spaces. Everyone enjoys using GitHub code spaces where you can spin up the developer environments, work on your repositories without worrying about dependencies, working from anywhere, using the editor of your choice like VS Code, Jupyter. So basically, you can start coding in just a few minutes with a complete dedicated environment for your repository. Now, code spaces is there. It is free for a certain amount, but after that, it's not free, and you cannot run it in your infrastructure. So you lack control over there. Today, our friends at Loft Labs have introduced a new open source tool called DevPod. So DevPod is a tool that creates reproducible developer environments. Again, the same story. You can always think of it as the code spaces, but it's open source and with a lot more features. So you can run DevPod in your choice of infrastructure provider. Like you can run the developer environments, which will be actually running on the infrastructure provisioned in Civo. And everything is mentioned in a file called devcontainer.json. So all the configuration lives in that. Even if you don't create it, a minimal configuration gets created automatically when you do a DevPod up that we'll see in the demo as well. With DevPod, you'll be able to create multiple workspaces, and each workspace can live in its own separate different environments, which will be managed in the same way by DevPod. So you can easily access your environment with the IDE of your choice. And many providers are already there at launch, and also you can create your own provider. So you can do that. Again, going to some of its attractive features, it's open source, number one, so more collaboration and greater feedback loop. Pricing depends on your choice of infrastructure. So like if you already choose Civo, you will get much more edge and much more cost benefit over there. There's no vendor lock-in, so you can switch between the providers. You can have same experience locally with a local provider like Docker, and it's only a client-side installation. So you can either choose and go for a CLI, or you can go for a desktop application. So yeah, DevPod comes with a fancy desktop application as well. And it also comes with features like pre-builds, shutdown, and Git credential sync that is shipping right now, shipped with the day one. So the tool has just launched. This open source tool is just announced, and you are watching this. So let's dive into the demo right away and see DevPod in action. So this is the documentation. You can see, what DevPod is, and we'll go through all the steps. Installing DevPod, you can install the desktop version, and you can also install via the DevPod CLI. So I already have DevPod installed. And we are a CLI fan, so we'll do almost everything via the CLI, and then we'll see the UI aspects of it as well. So DevPod, that's DevPod. So build, it is used for the building of the workspace, deleting of the workspace, IDE commands, listing of the existing workspaces with that corresponds to your repositories. Machine is basically the infrastructure where your DevPod is running. Provider is which provider you are going to list or add or delete. SSH creates a new SSH connection to the workspace, and then start stop. Up is basically starting a new workspace. The first step that we have to do is adding a provider. So for that, we'll do devpod provider add Civo. That's it. It will ask, obviously, it will download the latest release of the provider. Again, that is also open source. You can see the GitHub repository already there. Then it will ask for the API key that we have to use and the region. So let's say FRA. And our provider is successfully configured. That's pretty much it that you have to do for configuring Civo as your provider. Now let's do devpod provider list. It will show that Civo is true, initialized, and the default provider. Now let's create a workspace. So I have this repository of the demo that I gave in Open Source Submit Japan. We'll use the same repository. So let's copy this and do devpod up and pass on the repository. So it will first start by creation of the machine So the machine creation is happening OSS Japan. How we'll be able to see that? Go to Civo, and in the compute, we'll be able to see DevPod OSS Japan actually provisioning over here. Now in the workspaces, we can see OSS Japan that's there. And then we can create the workspace from the UI as well by giving the URL, repository URL or workspace name, and the default IDE that we have to go for, and the recommended provider, which is there. So right now the provider is this, because when I go to the provider, I'll see Civo, which was already added, but I can add other providers, including Docker, Kubernetes, and some of the other providers as well. So I can choose even from here. If I choose Civo, you can, save whatever configuration file is there, and you can enter the same two things. Also, you can give other options, the disk size, reuse machine. I'll tell about the reuse machine later on, because every time you create a new workspace, there is a new machine provisioned. From the CLI, if you want to use the same workspace, there is an additional flag that has to be passed. So coming back to the terminal, you can see, everything successfully getting set up, the machine, the container, pulling of the code, and after some time, it will start the VS Code for you automatic. So once everything gets completed, you can see the information over here starting VS Code. And it is starting the VS Code, and it is activating all the extensions and stuff like that. So what we are going to do is, it is already showing me the name.py file, which is a sample file. To run the application, it just needs Flask. So I'll do pip install Flask. And it is installing Flask over here, and then just python name.py. It automatically detects which port is there, and you can see in the ports section, it automatically says that this is the port that it is there. I can open the browser, and you can see, welcome to Open Source Summit, just a sample page which is there. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm already being able to run my code on Civo's infrastructure, which is there. Showing you the dev container JSON. So since it was not there, it automatically injected one .dev container.json with just a simple Python 3 image, because it was able to detect the language. But you can have your own dev container.json image as well. And you can see that it provides you with much more flexibility for configuring your tooling and runtimes that is needed. And this is the complete reference that you can go through, that what all fields and stuff can you enter inside that particular file which is there. And you can also pass that file if it's in separate location or some other path using the -- dev container path command. You can also use a Docker file in your dev container like this. So you can add this and put a Docker file over there as well. Now what we'll do is, we'll choose another repo, and I want to show you the machine thing which was there. If I do DevPod machine list, it will give me the list. And if I try to do DevPod up and give the URL, it will create a new machine, which means it will create a new instance in Civo FRA region. But if I specify -- machine as OSS Japan, it will create the container within the dev container within the same instance. So you are not creating a machine per workspace. So you will be able to create a machine, use the same machine for different workspaces as well. And again, it will start your new VS Code that like this you can see on the screen. So yes, I think pretty fancy open source tool by Loft Labs. They have been doing amazing stuff with DevSpace, vCluster, and I do think making it open source, the community collaboration, and the powerful feature set of providers and using your own infrastructure can definitely, have a rise in the adoption for DevPod as well. If you happen to try it, please do use Civo as recommended by DevPod. So thanks so much for watching this video, and check out all the other videos, and make sure to register for Civo, Navigate, and submit the CFPs before 31st of May 2023.